new today, right? I feel like I'm at Disneyland. That's shocking. I don't hate it though. Hi everyone. My daughter's backstage. I tried to get her to come on stage and she was like, I don't know. And I said, that sounds like a no. Thank you. Oh, what did you do? Oh, I hope it's donuts. I have to get home. Stop. I'll take it.
Don't stop, ever.
Especially for you, except they all say that.
Okay, I'm not gonna. This is going very well. Unbox this?
It goes like this, but I was just waiting for Briana's to come out.
Oh, I get 3 of them. She quit. Thank you.
She's dead weight. I'll take hers.
This is awesome, Matt. Thank you. Matt, everyone.
It says sometimes you
Oh my
forget that you're
gosh.
awesome, so this is your reminder.
Aww. Sorry, you guys. There's like socks in here and a blankie.
Cozy.
Oh, it's so cute. What is this? Sorry, you guys will just have to
Smells
wait.
like lavender.
Especially for you.
We're
That's
all
not
very
true.
easily distracted. And then we come out and they give us shiny things. You're all fucked. None of us are gonna pay any attention to you for at least 5 minutes. No, that's not true. I'll put it down. I'll put it down.
It's like the panel show.
Can't even close it.
Here's my butt.
That's amazing. Thank
You guys, when somebody inevitably asks us who would die first in the zombie apocalypse, I want you to remember this moment of how long it took us to open a box and put it on the ground. Okay?
Of our options, Sam lived the longest. You and Ruth. Yes.
Yeah, you and Rachel. Yeah, you'll hear about that later.
I would surrender myself. Who wants to survive the zombie apocalypse?
And I want to be dead. I don't want to be bitten and then
like,
live
you know what,
forever as a
take
zombie. I want to be, just take me out, man.
Yeah.
I'm
So
tired.
funny, because yesterday I talked about this on my panel, and I said the quiet part that I say out loud is like, I think I'd say I'm hoping for an apocalypse.
We just had one.
But if there is one, I would totally be the leader.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what we talked
follow
yesterday.
Yeah, thanks.
If I didn't opt to die, I would follow you.
I
would
love
too.
being the leader so
Although,
much.
in our discussion, because we did discuss this, I'd ask you to take off your jewelry because I was concerned you'd get caught on something.
This is why we also need Kim in our...
I was like, Sam's gonna live,
So fair.
maybe Ruth might outlast her because Sam might get caught on something.
I thought you would last the longest because you have all the fight training capabilities and that I can tell your gusto. And I said Ruth, I thought would live the second longest, only second longest because she's little. And I feel at some point somebody would just get her.
But she could hide easily too.
Yeah. But I thought she'd live so long because she'd be like, are you sure you want to kill me? And they'd be like, actually, no, let's have a cup of tea. Anyway, that's that about that. Wake up, you guys. I'm just kidding. How was karaoke last night?
They showed up.
All right, let's take some questions. Let's start over here. Hi, honey.
Hi, I'm Michelle. You guys are all awesome.
Right to the microphone.
You're awesome.
Sorry.
There you go. You're good. A little nervous too. My question is for Kim. I met you yesterday, and I watched your guys' panel yesterday, and it just made me fall in love with you even more. And did you enjoy your cookie that you got yesterday?
My cookie has not been eaten yet. I'm saving it.
Okay. Well, I have more. I'll drop off for all of you guys later.
Okay, thank you.
That's it. No, sorry. You got injured quite a bit in the seasons. Do you know exactly?
Oh, you mean I was like, in life I do. I've broken many bones, yes. I'm quite clumsy.
We were just
and
talking about that.
During
Horses are
the
assholes.
series, do you know how many times you got actually injured?
Wait, what? One more
How
time?
many times did you get injured during the series? Like you had an arm break, a leg break?
I didn't. I lost count.
Yeah.
Although, okay, so here's the thing, and I think this is a conversation we can all chime in on. They asked me at one point, they said, is it disrespectful for Jody to be injured? We feel bad beating up a girl, basically is what they said. They said it much more politically correct than that, but that's what they said to me. And I said, I want to be very, very clear, not beating me up would be disrespectful. I think that we can fucking take it, and that's why we're there. So yes, and also my limbs hyperextend, so it always looks dramatic when they hit it because it looks like it actually breaks on camera, and all the stunt people are like, yeah, hit her again. So I always feel like not beating up a hunter just because she's female would be disrespectful because it indicates that I can't do the job as well as the dudes do, and the fucking truth is I can. So, is that kind of...
They never asked me, they just did it. So I guess that's credit to you, thank you. I always had either a black eye, a bloody nose, a bloody lip.
Once we beat each other up.
We sure did. We sure did.
And the mark of a true friendship.
The most epic fight that was never filmed.
Never filmed.
Yeah. And then we were friends again. Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't get beat up. I just got chopped up.
We had your whole head clean off. But you know, in fairness, the boys very lovingly apparently sewed your head back on.
They did. They were very proud of themselves. But in other shows, I think seemed like I had equal rank with one officer on Stargate, and like they would give him all this stuff. And I remember one point I was like, I don't understand why she doesn't get to say this. And the writers were like, thank you for defending your character, even though they wrote it that way. They liked that I was like, wait a minute. Are you saying that I don't have, like, we have equal rank? You're saying I don't have equal power, equal opportunity? And so I do think sometimes we have to be like, well, hello, I'm in the game.
Yeah, and we were also, there was I won't name it, but I was briefly involved in a pretty big production of a couple of movies, and I didn't end up doing anything with them, but they were claiming that they were like, this is a feminist thing, and I'm like, I am the only female in this room, but okay. And it was because all the good guys were female presenting, and I'm like, when you don't think we're dangerous enough to also be bad guys, go fuck yourself.
I also kind of enjoy that people think that saying they're feminist means it's true.
Yes.
I just saw, this will bring the room down. Sorry, but I can't not say it. I just saw a post today that was on Deadline. It was like, talent agents clamoring over AI actress. And I was like, oh, great. That's where we are now. It's like talent agents are fighting over a computer to represent her. Yeah.
Awesome.
Anyway, thank you so much.
Good times.
Hello.
Hi, my name is Jamie, and my question is for Briana. When we first met Donna, she was going through a lot and didn't have a ton of self-confidence. And watching her character arc and how empowered she became over the seasons was, it was really great for me, and I'm sure for a lot of watchers. And what was it like to have such a growth character arc with Donna?
Anytime I get an arc on a show, I'm like, oh my god, thank you for the job. But I loved Donna at the beginning, and what I loved Donna, I remember the very first scene I shot in the show was the very first time you meet Donna, which was in her bullpen at her, that's what it's called, right? The police station. And I remember Phil, he was like, I want you to do some business at the top of the scene. So he was like, remember that you are the boss. So when you go around, pass out files and just say, here you go. It was like, here you go, Sharon, or whatever she says. And I just love that because the episode was about, or the arc in my first episode was about her husband leaving her because she was overweight and how she felt about that. She just wanted to make a change to win her husband back. But at the very top of the episode, you meet her in her element, which is being the boss, being good at what she does, and being respected. And I think that we see a lot of that in media of women in larger bodies being like dummies, You know, I remember watching Friends, and whenever they showed Courtney Cox's character, Monica, when she was in a fat body, she was like, just like, oh, like she was so ridiculous. And I'm like, that's not how we are. And so it was nice that, they never portrayed or wrote Donna like that. I would never have played her like that. And that she was shown to be a boss, and that throughout the arc of the character in the series, she got to find the confidence that she was seeking through a man, and she found it through discovering what she's good at. And I think we can all be inspired by that. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Sky. Girl power, and related to the girl power, what do you guys think would be, like, which band member would you be out of a girl group? So, like the Spice Girls, or Little Mix, or those are the only two I can think of right now, but...
I'm Old Spice.
Reunion tour. You have to be a group that doesn't dance. I don't know how to dance very well.
I would just like to be in the background and handing the microphones. Yeah.
You would be front and center in the music video. That's what you would do. Fuck yeah, I'd buy that record.
With my no dance. Just do a hair.
I don't know. What about you?
I can only think of the Wonder Woman army. I want to be one of them.
Sam's an Amazon.
Yeah.
Singing Amazon. Well, so that would make us Valkyries.
I'd like to be Valkyrie, please, because I don't want to sing or dance, but I will sure as shit ride a Pegasus. Also, like, very tiring to be an Amazon warrior. Yes. Yeah.
And a Spice Girl.
I don't want to do that. But that's all you have to do. I don't have to do all the other crap I have to do. Like, there's no, you don't have to clean. You don't have to work. You're just like, I'm gonna ride this horse around and beat up bad gods. I'm in.
We're too tired and lazy. Thank you so much.
We've earned our tired and lazy.
But we have good reason to be tired. We are brilliant people, mothers, working women. We're fucking tired. Living in a patriarchy.
Hi!
Hi there.
How's it going?
What's your name?
My name's Olivia.
Hi there. What's your question?
So I am someone who struggles a lot with toxic perfectionism and like self-criticism in like my music and my performance. And I was wondering how you guys maintain and like build up your confidence as performers.
Oh, that. So something I give, well, I'm not, yes. So a permission I give myself is to remember that I have not arrived anywhere. And when something doesn't turn out the way I've decided it should, it doesn't mean I failed, it means I've learned something. And sometimes lessons are uncomfortable, and I wish I didn't have to learn them, but there's this, once I recognized how often I say, oh, I should have known. How the fuck should you have known if you haven't learned it yet? And so I try to give myself compassion and permission to be in the process of learning, rather than arriving at a destination, and if it doesn't turn out the way I want it, that means that I'm a failure. I'm not a fucking failure, I'm a perfect learner.
I had a girlfriend that used to say, you're shitting on yourself again. There's no reason to say should. Live your life, do what you want. And in terms of perfectionism, I think as I get older and I continue to perform to other people, I think what I've learned, and which I find really freeing, is that even singing at Saturday Night Special, when I used to screw up, I would live that error over and over in my head for years. But now, when I screw up, I kind of embrace it as part of whatever performance I'm doing, because I recognize that me showing up as who I am in that moment is inevitably what everybody wants to see anyway. Now, especially in the land of social media, perfectionism, we realize it doesn't exist. And so when people attempt it, it doesn't actually look that authentic. And so people relate way more to seeing you show up, whoever you are, however you are, on that day.
I think to echo all of what you said, I also think when we look at perfectionism, we have to ask ourselves, like, who is it for? I love Rick Rubin's book. I think it's Art is the Way, and he sort of states that, like, once the art is done and you've put it out, you've succeeded, you've completed it. And it's, Rick Rubin, like Beastie Boys, music executive from New York. So I think for me, I've gotten to that place, but I'm actually in such a beautiful position right now. I'm mentoring my daughter who's an actor, and like she's on a show, and I'm able to tell her all the things I wish I knew when I was 19 on a show. And I'm like, you can be friends with the director. I didn't know I could be friends with the director. I didn't know I was allowed to talk to producers. And so I think that's where a lot of confidence comes in, as you sort of get comfortable, and being uncomfortable gets you comfortable. It's an exercise, and it's a practice, and it's a surrender as well. So I encourage everybody to surrender.
All I would add is, as someone who has struggled with perfectionism as well, is that to hold yourself to a higher standard than you would hold people you love and care about. So I try to put myself in someone else's shoes, or if someone I loved or cared about or admired or whatever made a mistake, how would I feel about that? I'm being 10 times harder on myself than I would about them. And it's just a little perspective. Most of the time they're not even going to notice what you're worried about. Literally, you're in your head about it. So it's just to repeat, like, you're allowed to make mistakes, you're allowed to be imperfect, you're allowed to do your best and have it enough.
Thank you so much.
Hello, ladies. So my question is scenario based. So I want you to imagine just for a moment that your castmates, including each other, are all 10 years old. And you are tasked with watching one of them for a week at your home. Who are you saying yes to, and who are you definitely saying no to?
Okay, wait. Am I
Watching them what?
Am I also 10
Baby's
years old?
babysitting.
So
no,
I'm,
you are an adult in this
okay.
scenario.
Me as me and my castmates as
10-year-old children. Who is coming over
I thought you meant
and
10 years
staying
older.
for a week that you are watching them for? And who is definitely not the one you would want to babysit for a week?
How much breakable shit do I have in my house?
It's your homes as of right now.
It's my home as of right now.
I love that she has answers for your question.
No, I know, you could be, haven't you? Okay, I need to think about this.
Definitely not Jerry.
I
feel like that's
Misha.
weird. Yes, Jared or Misha.
Broken bones, broken things.
Matt too, same. I would babysit Mark. I think because 10-year-old Mark is probably sweet.
Which one?
Shepherd. Both. Bring the Marks over.
I think I would babysit Ruth.
I think so too.
She would just like want to have, this is a sweeping generalization, but she'd just like want to dance, have tea parties, yeah. She's just such a feminine, woman. I imagine her as that as a little girl, so I don't actually know. Sweeping generalization.
I also maybe Felicia.
I think she'd be gaming.
An amazing 10-year-old kid.
Okay.
She's an amazing grown-up.
So this is my home as now. So you gotta hear me out on this. I'm gonna say no. My one to say no to is Rich. Hear me out. Because I would appall him. 10-year-old Rich Spate Jr. is full of idealism, and he's learning to be a gentleman, and he knows that there's right and wrong, and he would come into my house and I would fuck that kid up. I can't take that risk.
But also, if it was anything like his boys, he would eat you out of house and home.
Right, I don't have the money to feed him. Now, for those of you who know a little bit about my child, this and I have a big backyard, I would say yes to Jared. Because Jared and my child, I would just throw them outside and I wouldn't have to see them for 10 hours. Yes, Tabby and Jared would fit well together and I would never see them again. Great, go. Go see shiny things and dig up rocks. Have fun.
Thank you. I said no to Matt and yes to Keisha.
I feel like the through line here is who's easiest. Another child? What a murderous question. Hello.
So, because of my experiences, I have a hard time trusting myself when it comes to people. How do you?
I'm gonna stop you. I'm gonna get you to make sweet love to that microphone so I can hear your beautiful voice.
So, because of my experiences, I have a hard time trusting myself when it comes to other people. How do you know that someone is a good friend or a good partner?
For me, it's consistency. I say that to my daughter all the time, and because I am actually quite sensitive, I can read into when somebody withdraws, and some people are allowed to withdraw. They really are. People have many reasons to need to go into their own space. If they do that consistently, I can then go, that's what they need to do. But if it's not consistent, I will take it personally, and it will trigger many things from my childhood probably. But when I have friends that are either consistently communicating that they need time and space, or not even communicating, just taking time and space, but doing it regular enough that I can recognize that that's their friendship pattern, I can take solace in that. But when I have a friend or I'm in a relationship with somebody that's like hot and cold and inconsistent, it doesn't work for me. It's too triggering for me. So that's a big one for me.
I would say trust your gut. I think that particularly, many of us, but particularly girls, are taught to be nice, and it's okay, and they didn't mean it, and blah, blah, blah. If something in your body's going, that doesn't feel right, trust it. And you can also change your mind. You can feel like somebody was great, and then something triggers you later, and you're like, I don't know. I just feel like you can just believe and just go with it. But I don't know, just trust yourself. And if something's telling you that somebody's good, give it a chance. I don't know, is that too loose?
No, I like that, but also trust and verify, and even if there's nothing verifiable, it's okay to be like, oh, this isn't for me. Like, not everybody's for you. You also have the ability to take space and time. So, but maybe to Briana's point, understand that triggers people, so communicate. Like, I don't know how I feel about this. I don't know, we're all just practicing. We're all practicing social interactions, and so, just be easy on yourself as well.
I have a very primal answer to this question. For me, I have reached a point in my life, this is fairly recent, but if I recognize that I am having to make myself uncomfortable so that they make me feel safe, that is not a friendship. I need to be with someone who feels safe. And that's not a lot of people anymore, and that's okay. Because I'm an introvert and I like goats.
Well, I think that's a good point. Like, you don't need a lot of people. I mean, I think you just need a few. And I think you can trust your instincts too about people. Like, I know there's certain people I know I can spend a whole day with. I have this one friend, I'm like, we could like lay by the pool and read a book, or I'd be like, want to go jump in the caves? And she's like, yeah, for both of them. So know what is your community, and you don't have to fit into somebody else's.
Yeah, try people on, like shoes. Some fit, some don't. They're all beautiful.
But you shouldn't have to cramp your feet to fit their friendship.
And also wear socks.
You can get a blister, a friendship blister. Well, I hope that answers your question.
You do put some ointment on.
Yeah.
And heal. And then
So many analogies. Thank you, honey.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Shauna from Kelowna. Speaking of shoes, you guys have a really awesome lineup.
I really do. And they're all very
I
on
didn't get
brand.
the boot notification.
No, you never do. You're not a boot person.
Look at those.
It's so funny is that I have so many pairs of pumps at home that I've maybe worn once. I just can't do it.
My daughter went to a gala last night and she's like, how do you walk in these shoes? I was like, what shoes? She's like, your black heels. I'm like, you took my nice shoes? Take pictures, they're probably broken.
So, I'm a big theater girl, and Briana, I know you went to theater school. I was just wondering, of the four of you, what your experience is with it, and if you have any favorite plays, productions, stuff like that.
Kim went to theater school as well, is that right?
I have a master's degree in acting. Ooh, fancy!
I went to specifically a musical theater. I have a degree in musical theater, which, you know, gonna make millions of dollars on that. There's so many, and there's weird ones. I saw a play that, and it's not even a play. Stay with me, I'm gonna describe this because it won the Tony that year, but it was 2020, so you can imagine not many people went to the theater. It's called Dana H. Has anybody heard of this play? Yeah. It's crazy. I saw it in Toronto. It is a playwright, a well-known playwright, interviews his mother over audio about how she was a mental health worker and was kidnapped by one of her patients and held hostage for 3 months. Okay. And so he interviews her about this, and then the audio is played over, and an actress lip syncs the whole thing. And it's insane. The actress who won the Tony on Broadway for it plays the mom in The Penguin. If anybody's seen this show, it's an incredible show. Incredible. But everything from like taking a drink of water, from like her bracelets jingling, taking a breath, everything is exactly the same as the audio. And you're just like, how many times did she rehearse this? Anyway, it's just so cool. I just think you guys, you've got to see live art. You got to go to art, you got to see theater, you got to go to bands, you got to go to comedy, you got to go see things in person because AI is taking everything over. I love theater so much. Nothing gives me more joy than having a shared experience in the dark with strangers. That sounded sexier than I meant it to.
Theater is definitely sexy.
It is sexy, isn't it? I love it so much. I don't know that I have a favorite. I was talking about ragtime the other day, yesterday, because Supernatural alumni Anna Grace Barlow, who was in an episode that Rich directed, she is going to be in the revival cast on Broadway that I think just opened yesterday. And I thought that was the most exciting thing I've ever heard because I love that musical. What about, I'm done talking.
Yeah, wouldn't a Supernatural Broadway show be great?
Yes. Oh, wow. Yes. I don't know. I think a musical episode of Supernatural would be so great. No, because it's so much special effects and fighting.
Yeah, but so is Back to the Future. It was a great Broadway show.
But Back to the Future was a lot of storyline and characters. I guess Supernatural has good characters.
Are you
but
saying Supernatural has good
No, I would never say something like that.
My favorite Broadway show is MJ, a big Michael Jackson fan. It's such a great show. If I particularly like the Dangerous album, and it's about the Dangerous album in the MTV era, and I thought it was so well done. So if you get a chance to see it. Oh, good. Do you know if the guy who's playing it is the original Broadway? Oh, he's not, because he was so good. He was.
I heard he made
I went on a date for that, and it was the first time this guy has ever been to a Broadway show. And he was like, this is so good. I was so happy to share that experience with him. Yeah, it's great. He also did fit in the theater, it's very small.
I remember the first time I took Jose to a Broadway show, my husband, we went and saw Once on Broadway. And he, in the middle of the musical, turned to me weeping, and he went, "Thank you for bringing me to this." And now every time we saw Waitress recently, which I'd seen, yes, but he had never seen, so at the end of, if you can imagine, She Used to Be Mine, which, for those who don't know, is such an incredible song about a woman who's pregnant with a child she doesn't want, and she's singing about the dreams she had as a teenage girl, and how she's in an abusive relationship and how everything can crash. It's a heartbreaking song, and he did the same thing. He was like, "Oh my God." Just like the woman's experience told through song is, I don't know, it's pretty emotional.
I'm a sucker for Shakespeare. I'm a sucker for Shakespeare.
Yeah, and if you guys live in Vancouver, every summer they do Shakespeare on the beach.
I just took Valentina this summer to Bard on the Beach, it's called, yeah. Bard on the Beach.
There's that outdoor theater too in Stanley Park. It's great. They do 2 shows a year, 2 shows a summer.
Oh, Tuts, yeah, Theater Under the Stars.
Under the Stars, yeah. It's a fun time.
I used to do that with Wyatt as a child in LA. It was as much about the snacks as about the Shakespeare for him, but
It's all one.
To be fair, some of the plays are also mostly about the snacks.
yes, indeed. It's newer, but I would watch Hamilton 50 times. Hamilton. Oh, I just love it so much, the music, and I listened to the soundtrack probably 50 times before I went to see it, so I knew everything that they were saying, because you can't always catch it live. And I continued to listen to it, but it's so sad. It's so sad. I'd be like sitting there like knitting or sewing or gardening and like crying. I'm like, maybe I need to like alternate some other things.
Jess is back on Broadway, I hear. That's a fun one.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm a plus-size ballroom dancer, and I'm constantly being judged on my size instead of my abilities. I consider myself to be a sparkly unicorn instead of a black sheep, and I'm wondering if you have any suggestions of songs that I could do routines to help me bring out my sparkle.
Songs to do ballroom dance to, is that right?
Yeah,
What kind of ballroom dance?
I do everything.
I mean, because I'm sorry, sing, sing, sing. How can you not fucking sparkle to sing, sing, sing? Come on. That's my suggestion for you.
5 people knew what I was talking about.
I used to listen, have anybody ever seen the movie Swing Kids? Yeah, when I was 15, that fucking disc, CD, was on repeat all day, every day. My parents were like, something's wrong with our child. It's like Mel Torme and Swing Kids soundtrack. I'm trying to think of the song. Somebody else do it.
I gave her one yesterday.
Is it like ice skating where you can pick any kind of song that you want?
Yeah, I've done routines to carry on. I did the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air theme song. I've done everything, so.
Can you do like hard rock or heavy metal?
Yes.
Because those are the things I know about. Something from New Jersey.
We call that the Sam special, the karaoke. I think Bon Jovi. Sam's like, well, I know this one.
Right.
I know this one.
Anything from Linkin Park? Yeah, well, there would only be old ones. There won't be any new ones.
What about the Golden Girls theme song? I want to see that.
Did anybody ever see, okay, Kim, go ahead.
I'm sorry, the coffee just kicked in. Okay, I want to address, I don't want to answer your question, I want to address your question. Here's the fucking thing, my love. You are perfect, and you are vital. The fact that you are living your sparkle, the fact that you are embracing your unicorn is not just good for you, it is good for everybody in this fucking world who's never seen a unicorn. So anything you do will sparkle because you are the fucking unicorn.
Kim arrived. That's right. And she's right.
I was only going to add that there was a few months ago, no, it was actually probably like a year ago, there was a viral video of 2 ballroom dancers dancing to a song called Mates of Soul. Does anybody know that song? Yes, so if you look up ballroom dancing and Mates of Soul, it's a beautiful song. I actually sent it to Jason because I'm like, this sounds like you should sing this song. Anyway, I just think anytime, to your point, to Kim's point, that you can shock people into going, ballroom can be anything, I decide it to be. And it doesn't have to look a certain way, it doesn't have to sound a certain way. So basically, we'll give you suggestions, but ultimately, you dance to whatever the fuck you want to dance to.
In fact, please do.
Thank you.
I'm really nervous. My question was, What is the worst/weirdest hotel experience you've ever had?
The worst or scariest?
Weirdest.
Weirdest. Okay. Hotel experience. I mean, we're women, so we've probably had plenty of them.
It's not weird or, I had an interesting experience. I was very sad one time, and I was in my hotel room in DC, and I remember feeling like just a deep despair, and I felt what I can only explain to as a hug from an angel. Yeah, it was so wholesome, and in my head, I was like, I know who that was. And I went about my life. I felt better the next day, not a whole lot, but a little bit. And about a year later, I went to an event that my girlfriend was having, and she had a medium. And she said, is anybody in here, I had a pin on my jacket. She's like, your grandmother's on your jacket. And I said, yeah. And she goes, she wants you to know it was her that night.
That's fucking scary.
I knew it was her too. I knew it. And so it was just a beautiful affirmation. I didn't need the affirmation, but it was a nice story.
Man, I have exactly the opposite. It's the most mortal and creepy thing. I was in a hotel. This is when, yeah, I won't give the backstory, but it was a convention, and my bedroom had a balcony outside. It was kind of graveled, and and there were cigarette butts, right? So like clearly but my room did not have a door to the balcony. But it did have a big window that looked right onto my bed. Yeah, a big window. Like there was a window, and then a balcony outside. So somebody had been standing at the window smoking cigarettes, but not from my room. Just somebody had access to my window, and yeah, we stopped saying cigarettes weren't there. No, they were. Yeah, that was somebody else who just stood in front of my window, and there was also, I had a shower curtain that had blood on it once. Oh! I was like, yeah. Yes, also. Where I was like, could you just change the shower curtain? I don't need a new room, but yeah.
We stay in so many hotels that there's just kind of degrees of gross at this point. We don't stay at the fancy I hope none of you think that. You're not staying at fancy hotels. Like I found nail clippings in my bathroom at this one. Oh. And that actually, I was like, oh, that's easy to clean up. That's easy. It's the other stuff that's not so easy to clean up, so.
Where was it recently we all were sharing pictures? We have a group
We
chat.
all left? That was Oklahoma.
And we were, in Oklahoma, we were all sharing pictures of the varying degrees of decay of our headboards as they peeled onto the bed.
We all had the same headboard, and they were like made of that like fake leather that's like filled with stuffing.
Yeah, it was like pleather.
It was like
peeling onto the
pleather
bed.
with foam underneath it, but the foam was like rotting, and it was like
Somebody pulled
apart,
out
yeah.
varying degrees.
Yeah. And then I came back from working the PJ party at that convention, and my desk was covered in ants. Yeah, that was fun. So I moved hotels. That's the only time that I was like, nope, I have a line.
I will tell you that the Fairmont here in Vancouver is obviously haunted.
Oh, Hotel Vancouver. Yeah, there's a few Fairmonts here, but the Hotel Vancouver is, what's that?
I think it used to be called
It's a Fairmont, but it's called Hotel Vancouver,
Hotel
yeah.
Vancouver, yes.
Because there's Pacific
All
Rim,
you do is come
Fairmont,
out of the elevator and look down the
Waterfront.
hall and you're like, oh, hey everyone.
Yeah. No, it's haunted.
Clearly, it looks like The Shining.
Famously. There's like a
Never
window.
go there. I'll take your word for it.
I don't know what floor it is, but there's like a window that you're supposed to be able to see somebody in. It's pretty well known.
Sorry, side note.
Yeah.
Sorry, side goes no. That's, yeah.
Tell that story. It's good.
Oh, that's not a hotel story though, so that's
Still
okay.
good.
It's a friend's guest bedroom.
It was a
story.
friend's guest bedroom, and she said, and that corner right there is where the ghost hangs out. And I was like, okay, but just to be on the safe side, every time I went past the corner, I said, excuse me. I'm polite. I don't need to see things. So we're sitting on the couch watching K-pop Demon Hunters, and I thought a mouse dropped onto my shoulder and ran. And I went, and I started looking for it because like it clearly had hopped onto, and I'm like pulling up couch and I can't find the thing that just, and she goes, oh, did you get touched? Yep. Okay, and I continued to say, excuse me, but please don't touch me again as I walked past the corner for the rest of my stay there. I was like, we're cool, right? That wasn't a, like, go fuck yourself. Okay, it was just a, like, running something along my arm. Sorry. Like I said, not a hotel story, but that's the oddest thing that's happened to me when I was staying someplace not my house. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hello.
This is a question for Kim. I grew up watching you as Carrie on Sweet Life, and then later as Jodie in Supernatural. So did you ever feel Carrie coming through while playing Jodie as like a mother figure to Sam and Dean, or was it easy to keep them separate?
Oh, well, I mean, there was a lot of time between the two, but the only time that I pulled a Carrie out was there was a thing where Dean has gone into the past and Sam is looking for his clues, and I said, don't make me use my mom voice. Go take a nap, right? And so I checked with the director, and Jared comes down the stairs, and I went, all right, that's it. Young man? And he literally jumped. Like, the response you see is him, because that was not in the script. And we finished the scene, he was like, you do have a mom voice! So that's the only time I channeled Carrie a little bit.
Thank you.
Hi!
Hello. So this has been a year where I've done a lot of difficult shit and things that I'm really proud of. And so I would love to hear from y'all, just a chance to like self-flagellate. What's something that you're really proud of yourself for?
I cut my hair off.
Just generally, there's some things that I'm proud of that are, kind of work-related and all that, but as a sweeping generalization, my ability to just let go this year, to really detach from outcomes, to not need things from people or situations, it feels very freeing, and it's kind of new for me as someone who is a bit of a people pleaser, surprisingly.
I moved. It was like one of those things where I was like, I feel like I should be moving, and I moved like 8 states away. And I was like, I just feel like I should be there. And so I followed it, and I did, and I bought a house, and I'm settling in.
I can't think of anything. Not that I'm just not.
Well, you're killing your business.
Oh, I think painting your doors.
Renovating my house.
I've been renovating my house. I managed to paint the front door and put the glass in the front door got shattered, and we had to start over with a whole new front door, which is harder than it sounds. I did a couple of years ago open a business with a partner, and we're doing really well. And I learned a bunch of new stuff for that. Like I had to find that inner voice that didn't filter itself and would comment and call out something that didn't feel right in a way that less and less is worried about not hurting their feelings.
And you do it in a way that is like so empowering but endearing. Like you feel like, yeah, you do. I'm very proud of you.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm very proud of you.
Yeah, that's one of those things where like we all always knew it was in her. We were just waiting for Sam to catch up. And when she showed up, we got to have a party. Because like
It's also very helpful. She's very smart.
Yeah.
Very helpful.
It was not a surprise.
She's ready to ride the Pegasus. Get your Pegasus, girl.
Yes. Never a surprise, but such a celebration.
And this is why we are all family, because we all feel this way about each other in every way.
And shout out to Kristen, who's your business partners here as well. We love you, Kristen.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm proud of you all.
Thank you. Proud of you too. Well done. Hello.
ladies. I was just curious what your go-to karaoke songs were.
What is it?
Gabe Tigerman and I, it's gotta be the duo, 500 Miles by Proclaimers.
Somebody to Love by Queen.
Save a Horse, Ride a Cowboy. And on karaoke.
Hi, gents.
Hi, what was, I missed one of the songs. I heard yours, I heard Sam's. Alaina, are you the one who is?
Don't karaoke.
Wow. That's so aggressive. Yesterday, Alaina, I thought, so we all learn something every weekend when we come to do these things, and I learned what Alaina really thinks of me. It was great, you know what I mean? I came on stage yesterday to do...
And you missed the fact that I would not babysit 10-year-old Rich. You were the one person that I said I would not babysit.
That is, I would have had such a crush on you. That is such a bummer. What a loss.
See, I would have completely fucked him up. Destroyed this poor innocent child.
Well, earlier in my panel, they asked Rob and me who our crushes were when we were like 8 or 9, who our TV crushes. We proceeded to list every actress that had worked from 1964 to 1989. We're not very discerning. But Alaina, I walked out to do the professional work of emceeing a traveling Rhodes show, like I do. And she looked at me and was like, "Hey, Rich, is something wrong or are you just really tired?" I'm like, "Great, that's the
I looked back at him and I was like, Rich looks unimpressed. And he's like, I was just standing here. I was like, oh, he's tired.
It's like, wow, you look, I mean, it was basically like, "Hey, Rich, are you hungover or did you get hit by a car?" Neither. But I'm wearing a lot of bass today. I hope that covers up.
So good, so good. I'm gonna pinch your cheeks.
You're gonna see some of these ladies on the stage tonight as part of Saturday Night Special. And it is fantastic.